everyone, it's Kier. Welcome to class. Today we'll be moving a little bit slower and just really stretching into our bodies. So whenever you're ready, you don't need anything except a mat unless you like other props, blocks, blankets might be nice. But otherwise, we'll just go ahead and start seated at the back of our mats. So facing the front of your mat, crossing your legs. Just an easy seat here, whatever's comfortable. So you can be on your shins if you'd like. You can be cross-legged, anything that feels comfy to you. And just shutting down your eyes. Starting to notice your breath. Feeling your sits bones grounded onto the floor. Noticing every point of contact that your body has with the floor. Just becoming aware of your body and where it is in space. Starting to settle your shoulders over your hips. Tucking your chin just a little bit to bring some nice cute little double chins in, but just to bring a long neck, long back of the neck. Really placing your head on top of your shoulders. Pulling your body up out of your hips. And we'll bring some nice deep breaths. Inhaling to the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. This time inhaling halfway full, pausing when you reach halfway, then inhaling completely, filling your lungs, stopping at the top, and releasing completely. Again, inhaling halfway, pausing, inhale completely, pause, and exhaling. This time inhaling fully, 100%. Pausing at the top. Exhaling halfway. Pausing half. And then exhaling completely. One more deep inhale. Pausing at the top. Exhaling halfway. Pausing. And exhaling completely. Closing our breath work with a large inhale, full capacity, and a long exhale. Starting to flutter your eyes back open, coming back into the room. Inhaling your arms up and overhead, nice big stretch. Interlace your fingers and then lift your palms up towards the ceiling, just stretching your shoulders open, maybe rocking back and forth, sideways. Whatever feels nice, maybe little circles, just opening up your shoulders. And then exhaling, releasing your right hand towards your right hip. Left hand will come up and overhead, bending deeply into the right arm, spinning your chest towards the front. Lingering here for just a moment, maybe even bringing your elbow down to the mat. Nice long stretch through the side body on the left. And exhaling, rising back overhead, bringing palms to heart center in a prayer position. Interlacing your fingers from here, pushing your palms out in front of you as you tuck your chin round your spine. Exhale, pulling your arms back up overhead. Dropping your left hand this time towards the left side of the mat. Right arm overhead towards the left. Spinning your chest again towards the front of the room. And sinking deeper. Elbow to mat if you can, if you want. Just finding space in your right side body. And bringing it all the way back up to the top, interlacing your fingertips at the top, pushing towards the ceiling. Exhaling, rounding them down as you tuck your chin towards your chest. Inhaling again up and overhead, fingertips still interlaced. Exhale back down as you round. Dropping your hands towards your knees, go ahead and find yourself on your shins. So seated on your shins, placing your fingertips back behind your heels, we'll push our shins into the mat, roll our shoulder blades onto our back body, and pop our chest towards the sky as we start to lift the pockets of our pants towards the ceiling. Nothing crazy here, just a little back bend. And then releasing, walking our fingertips out into tabletop position. Rolling around on our wrists here, maybe cupping the ground, coming up on fingertips and lowering your hands, just warming up your wrists a little bit. Finding whatever feels good to you to warm up your body, maybe flipping your palms to face, your fingertips to face backwards, rolling back and forward, side to side. Fingertips facing back, forward. Place your left hand into the middle of the mat, right under your face, and rise your right arm up towards the sky, reaching your chest towards the right side of the room. On your exhale, spinning back your chest back down and shooting your arm underneath your left arm out towards the left side. Placing your ear onto the floor. From here, maybe lifting your left hand. Maybe grabbing your right hand with your left and pulling even further out, but keeping an eye on your hips, keeping them squared. And then breathing into the space you're creating here. Exhale, releasing, coming back up. This time planting right hand under your face and rising, left arm up, spinning towards the left. Exhaling, shooting your arm underneath your right arm and planting your left ear onto the floor. Maybe grabbing your left hand with your right, pulling it out further, realigning your hips, engaging your lower core, and then settling into the floor for just a few breaths. Rising back up to center. Keeping your hips just over your knees. Start to walk your fingertips out. Far in front of you, pulling your chest towards the mat, finding puppy pose. Maybe letting your elbows reach towards the floor, your chin or your forehead. Breathing into the space between your shoulder blades. Nice long, deep breaths. Opening up through your shoulders, through your side body, through your back body. And then pulling back up into tabletop position. Finding a few rounds of cat-cow at your own pace. Inhaling to pull your chest through and up into cow, and then exhaling, rolling your spine into cat. Maybe bringing some C curves, some barrel rolls, whatever feels good. And whenever you're ready, going ahead and bringing our hands one palm's length ahead of where they are. Tuck our toes and we'll rise into downward facing dog. Pedaling out through the legs. Spinning the eyes of our elbows forwards. Bringing our shoulder blades back onto our back bodies. Pull your core in just a touch. Sink your gaze towards your big toes. And breathe. Inhaling here. And exhaling. Inhale. And on your next exhale, walking your hands back towards your toes. Finding a nice deep forward fold. Bend in the knees. Swaying from side to side, releasing your head and neck completely. Your feet are about hips width distance here. Then planting your right hand underneath your face. Bend into your right knee and rise your left arm up to the sky, spinning your chest towards the left. So deep bend in the right knee, planting through your left foot here. Feel a nice stretch maybe in the outside of the left leg. Thinking about really planting your right hand into the mat and spinning from the hand all the way up to the left fingertips. Exhaling, releasing back into a forward fold. Again, rolling through your spine here, back and forth, swaying. And then planting left hand underneath your face, rising right arm up to the ceiling, spinning your chest towards the right. Deep bend in the left knee, straightening through the right leg. Really put more weight into your right leg to feel that stretch in the outer right leg. And exhaling, releasing. From here, rolling up to stand. Slowly, chin in chest, or chin comes up last. And then rising your arms up and overhead. Maybe add a little back bend here. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhaling, arms up and overhead, and exhaling, folding all the way back down. Inhale, halfway lift, palms to shins, rising, long spine. And exhale, walking all the way back to downward facing dog. This time on your inhale, rise your right leg and open your hips. Bending your right knee, just start to open up through your hips here, maybe doing some little circles, circling your knee up and around. Making some space in your hip joint. And when you're ready, shooting your right knee towards your left tricep. And exhaling, pulling back, three-legged dog. Inhaling, shooting forward. Exhale, shoot your right leg out towards the left and then plant that outer right foot onto the floor. Spinning open here, dropping your left heel towards the mat, rising up into, I always forget the name of this. We'll call it fallen angel today. But keeping your right hand planted onto the mat. Spinning your right shoulder blade back onto your back body. Lifting your hips up towards the sky. And then spinning back down towards the mat. Plant your left hand, but keep your right foot where it is. Come onto your left toes. And start to wiggle your left foot even out further towards the left, sinking your right hip onto the floor. Finding this IT band stretch here. Maybe bringing your right fingertips out a little bit, lifting your left arm up towards the sky, and then maybe, if it feels good, crossing your left hand towards the right. It can be a little intense. So just find the place that feels good to you. And rising back up. Coming into three-legged dog, right leg lifted behind you. Again, bending at the knee, opening the hips, rolling through your hips. And then pulling your right knee towards your right wrist, planting your shin down parallel to the front of the mat, finding Pigeon Pose. Coming up nice and tall, engaging through your left glute, pulling your right hip back, pushing your left hip forward. Just square your hips towards the front. Keeping your toes tucked here to really keep engagement in your left leg. Keep a nice active Pigeon Pose this time around. Maybe playing with lifting an arm, bending to one side, then planting that one, bending to the other side, and just finding a space that you like and staying in that for a little bit. Playing with what your body wants today. And when you're ready, putting your hands back down, stepping back into downward facing dog, and we'll roll through into plank pose. Drop your knees, drop your chest and your chin, and then pulling through all the way down onto your belly. Fingertips come to 10 and 2, and rising, oscillating cobra. Chin comes up last, rolling through the spine on your exhale, coming back down. Inhale, rising. Exhale, lowering. Inhale, rise. Take your right arm, shoot it towards the left. Go ahead and come down, bringing your elbow and your upper arm onto the floor. And then take your left arm and try and shoot it out towards the right. Hopefully the mic noise isn't too bad. And from here, find a comfortable space to try and rest your chin onto your upper arms. Releasing into your shoulders here. Letting go of any engagement you had in your lower body and just melt onto your upper arms. When you're ready, coming back up to rise. Finding Sphinx Pose, elbows under shoulders, fingertips out in front of you, and pull. Isometrically pull your forearms towards your hips, bringing your chest and collarbones through, pulling your glutes a little bit together, engaging everything, but staying relaxed. And then maybe letting your chin come towards your chest and roll through your neck a little bit here. Still pulling your collarbones towards the front of the room. And then coming back to oscillating cobra, fingertips at 10 and 2, rising on your inhale, exhaling, lowering. Inhale, rise. This time, as you exhale, shoot your left arm towards the left, or towards the right, excuse me. Shoot your right arm towards the left. This time your right arm is on top, and then settle in here, noticing the difference between the two sides. Letting your chin collapse onto your upper arms. And then rising all the way, pushing back onto your hands and knees, coming back into Child's Pose for just a second here. Deep inhale, long exhale. As you scooch forward, keep your forearms planted this time. We'll rise into Dolphin Pose. So fingertips facing the front of the room, forearms down, elbows down. Rise into Downward Dog with your legs. And then start to slowly walk your toes towards your elbows. Bringing your nose closer to your fingertips, really working through your shoulders here, pressing down firmly with your forearms into the mat. And then exhaling, try and push into your hands to rise your elbows up into Downward Dog. Or just find yourself in Downward Dog, however works. Inhaling, left leg rises. And exhale, bend the knee and start to roll through your hip. Little circles with your knee. Pushing firmly into both hands evenly. And looking forward, we'll shoot our left knee to our right tricep. And then our left foot will shoot out towards the right. Spinning our right heel down, rising into Fallen Angel. Right arm reaches back behind you. Hips rising towards the sky, pushing firmly into the left outer foot. Spinning that left shoulder blade back onto your back body. And then coming back down, right hand lands, coming onto your right toes. Shifting your left foot further out towards the right, plant that left hip towards the mat. And by plant, I mean do your best. Not everybody is as flexible in the same areas. So just find some grace for yourself. And then if you took the twist on the other side, maybe inching your left hand out towards the front, and then shooting your right hand towards the left, finding a space that feels good to you. Maybe it feels really intense on one side versus the other, which is currently my situation. Just noticing that, becoming aware of your physical body. Bringing an inquisitive nature, but no judgment. Rising back up. We'll come back into three-legged dog. Left leg lifts behind us. Again, opening up through your hip. Rolling through just a couple rounds. And then shooting your left knee towards your left wrist. Planting your left shin onto the mat into active Pigeon Pose. So again, right toes are tucked. Really rising our shoulders up over our hips, engaging through the core. Breathing tall here. Squaring those hips towards the front of the room. So thinking about bringing that right hip down towards the mat, pulling your left hip back. And exhaling, coming back onto your hands, rising, Downward Dog, exhaling, rolling through into plank, finding your vinyasa, whatever you choose today, maybe knees, chest, chin, maybe rising through locust, and then wherever you are, go ahead and come onto your heels, but keep your toes tucked this time. So toe stretch here, making sure even your pinky toe is tucked underneath. And we'll stay here with our lower body. But go ahead and cross your right arm underneath your left, finding eagle arms. So twisting your arms around one another, maybe palms meet. And then lowering and rising your arms, just flossing through your shoulders here. Staying on your toes. Exhaling, arms out wide, and then switching. Left under right this time. And then flossing again, up and down. When you're ready, crawling back out, finding downward facing dog. Inhaling, right leg lifts. Exhale, right knee to left tricep. Shoot your leg out, rising your hips into fallen angel. Inhaling here. Exhaling, swiveling back down again, shooting your leg out towards the left, coming into IT band stretch. Inhaling here. Maybe exhaling into a little twist. And inhaling, rising. Exhaling, finding downward dog. This time as you open through your hip, spin onto your left heel and start to bring your right foot behind you, maybe touching your toes by your left knee. Pushing into your feet to bring your hips towards the ceiling, rising into wild thing. Inhaling here. Exhaling, spinning back towards the mat. Right knee, right wrist, planting into Pigeon Pose. Active Pigeon Pose. Maybe this time, turning your chest towards the left, bending your left knee, rising your foot up towards your shoulder, and hooking it with your hand. Maybe hooking it with your elbow. Maybe right arm reaches overhead and tries to clasp left hand. All of these are maybes. Just find a place that feels good. And exhale, just release it all. Coming back into downward facing dog, rolling through plank, find your vinyasa. Inhaling to rise. Exhaling to find downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts, opening through the hip. Left knee, right tricep. Exhaling into fallen angel. Spinning chest up, hips up. Inhaling here. On your exhale, spinning back down, pushing your foot out further into IT bend stretch. Inhaling tall. Exhaling, maybe finding that twist. Inhaling, rising back up. Exhaling through three-legged dog. Open the hip, maybe spin onto the right heel. Touch your left toes behind you, rise into wild thing. Hips pushing towards the sky, right shoulder blade comes back onto your back. And spinning back down, three-legged dog. Left knee to left wrist, Pigeon Pose, active pigeon. From here, maybe spinning towards the right, bending through the right leg, catching the right heel or the right ankle. Finding whatever variation you took on the other side. Breathing space into your back, into your hips. Exhaling, releasing all of that, coming back into downward facing, rolling through into plank and find your vinyasa. When you find downward facing dog, this time inhaling, right leg lifts. On your exhale, pull it through to step outside of your right hand. Drop your back knee, spin open towards the right. Right arm comes behind you. Exhaling, rising off your back knee, straightening through both legs, extended pyramid pose, maybe coming off of the right toes. Inhaling, looking forward, stepping left foot outside of left hand, nice wide base, rising, active squat, hands out in front of you, deep bend in the knees. Inhaling, rising to stand. Exhaling here. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhaling, bending back into active squat. Plant your hands, step back into downward facing dog. Inhaling, rising left leg. Exhaling, pulling through left leg outside of left hand. Drop the back knee, rise and spin towards the left. Left hand behind you. Exhale, pulling forward, rising off the back knee, straightening through both legs. Maybe the toes come to the sky. Bending over your front leg. Looking forward, exhaling, stepping right foot outside of right hand. Wide base, active squat, hands out in front of you. Nice deep bend in the knees. Exhaling, hands to heart center, rising. Inhaling, arms up and overhead. Exhaling, coming back to active squat. Inhaling, hands plant, and exhale, step back and find your vinyasa. Maybe this time adding a little bit more, maybe a push-up. We'll move through just a few more rounds of sun salutations. Rising right leg up, exhale, stepping it outside of your right hand, dropping your back knee, spinning towards the right. Exhaling, rising, extended pyramid pose. Looking forward, stepping outside of left hand, rising active squat. Rising up, hands to heart center. Inhaling, arms overhead. Exhaling, active squat. Inhale, hands plant, stepping back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, left leg outside of right or left hand. Drop the back knee, spin open. Exhale, rising, extended pyramid. Inhale, looking forward, stepping forward, active squat. Exhaling, rising, hands to heart center. Inhale, up and overhead. Exhale, active squat. Inhale, hands plant. Exhale, step back. Find your vinyasa. Inhaling, rise, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it forward. Drop your back knee and spin open towards the right this time. Maybe bending through the left leg, catching the left ankle and pulling your ankle in towards your butt. Finding a stretch in the left hip flexor. Spinning open through the chest. Sinking deeper into your hips here, letting everything kind of release towards the mat. And spinning back towards the ground, rising off your back knee, straightening over your front leg, maybe lifting your toes towards the sky. This time as you come forward, plant your right foot down, but spin your back heel in a warrior two stance. Maybe realigning your legs a little bit. We're finding triangle pose. So a nice wide base, but planting into the outside of your left leg. Maybe plant your right hand by your right foot and spin open towards the left, finding triangle pose, left arm overhead. Maybe bringing your arm towards the front of the room. Maybe flipping your hand to face the back and then coming around, finding a half bind. Binding in between your right hip and right side body. Spinning your chest open even more towards the right if you found that half bind. And then exhaling, releasing all of that, coming back into extended pyramid pose and stepping your left foot forward into active squat. Rising to squat. Exhaling here. Inhaling, rising to stand, hands to heart center. Exhaling here. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, sinking back down to active squat. On your inhale, plant your arms. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, step it forward. Outside of your left hand, drop your back knee and spin open towards the left. Maybe this time bending through your right knee, catching your right ankle. Spinning open even more towards the left. Sinking your hips down towards the mat. Spinning from the right palm. spinning back down towards the mat, planting your left hand, rising extended pyramid pose. And then finding your triangle legs again. So maybe realigning so things feel more in place, but whatever works for you, make sure that you're planting through the outside of your right foot. Bring your left hand to the floor, right arm comes up and overhead, spinning your chest towards the towards the right. And then maybe if you found that half bind, you can find it again. So that means flipping your right palm towards the back. Bending through the elbow and coming around your hip. Obviously I have a mic pack right in the way, but reach around your hip and use that as leverage to pull your chest even further towards the right side. Extending long left side body over the left leg. And exhaling, releasing all of that back towards the floor. Stepping again outside of your right hand into active squat. Inhaling and exhaling to rise, hands to heart center. Inhaling up and overhead. And exhaling, bending back into your legs. Planting your hands, last round of vinyasa here. Into your back bend on your inhale. On your exhale, rolling back onto your shins this time. Taking a moment here, shutting down your eyes. Slowing down your breathing here. Realigning your body over your hips. From here, we'll crawl our fingertips out towards the front of the mat. And just go ahead and come all the way down onto your belly. Bringing your left knee, bending it, and then pulling it so that your knee is aligned with your hip. Foot and knee are at about a 90-degree angle. And you can just bring your hands underneath your forehead, relaxing here. Or maybe right fingertips plant. Left arm shoots out towards the left. Planting your ear down onto the mat. Or maybe bending your right arm, finding a little pillow with your right hand. Inhaling, rising back up, keeping your legs the same, but switching your arms. So right arm this time shoots out towards the left. And then we'll roll onto our backs, but keep our left knee glued to the mat. So finding a supine twist here. Maybe bringing your gaze over the left side. Maybe your right hand grabs onto your left knee, just pulling it lightly down towards the floor. Breathing here. And then rolling back to center. Extending your left leg back long behind you, rising into Sphinx for just a moment, recentering everything. And then bringing your right knee this time, bending at a 90-degree angle up towards your hip. Shooting, maybe if you just came down onto your hands, go for that. If you want to do the twist, rising onto your left fingertips, shooting your right arm out towards the left. Bringing that right ear towards the mat in whatever capacity. And just settling in here. When you're ready, rising back up, switching your hands, so left arm out towards the right, and then rolling onto your back body, keeping your right knee glued down, twisting open. Gaze can come over your right shoulder. Left hand maybe grabs, lightly pushes down on your right knee. Releasing. Whenever you're ready, spinning back towards center, extending your right leg, rising through Sphinx last time. And then pushing back onto your shins, and then refiguring your body so that you're onto your back body now. Rolling down. From here, finding a plow pose. So tucking your knees in towards your chest and extending your feet over your head. Maybe your hands come to your hips and lift them a little bit so that your toes come to the floor behind you. It's like a deep forward fold on our backs here, so really play with this space. Find what feels good to you, maybe grabbing your heels, pulling your knees in towards your nose, extending your lower back towards the ground, rolling around on your spine. And when you're ready, rolling all the way down, releasing your legs out in front of you. And finding your Shavasana. Shoulder blades underneath your back body, hands facing up. Inhaling here. And exhaling, releasing everything. Taking this time to bring gratitude for yourself, for your practice, for your efforts, for your body. Staying here for as long as you'd like. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.